Hi there, so my name is Megan. My channel here is Dressage Spirit, named after my old horse Spirit, who I used to do dressage on. Currently between horses at the moment. You may have seen a sold Raven a couple of weeks ago. So she's off to a new home. Just didn't work out between us, sadly. We just didn't really click. But had 18 months with her, doing a bit of dressage and riding club and camps and things, but she's off to a new home, so I will shortly be looking for a new horse. So looking for anything between 15.2 and 16.2, mare or gelding, minimum age 4 years old. Budget's gonna be around 3,500, so it's not a big budget. But do let me know if you know of anything that would be suitable for riding club activities and low level BD. I'm really hoping to eventually train something to medium level, but we'll have to see. So that's where we are at the moment. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be putting together a few videos about equine careers, because in the meantime I'm focusing on doing some more of my BHS exams. I work in a riding school, and I'm also a pony club coach, and I know that there are people out there that might be interested in how to get into the horse industry and what kind of careers there are out there and what the reality of doing that is. So I thought I would just put together a few kind of quick videos about that, and see where we go from there, really. In the meantime though, if you want to find out more about working with horses, best place to go is British Horse Society. Now, because I'm doing the BHS route and I am doing I work in a BHS approved centre, I'm pro British Horse Society. I know there are people out there that aren't, but in the UK and abroad, British Horse Society is what is recognised the most, and it's pretty comprehensive. It follows, it takes you through the riding, horse care, management and coaching and lunging, so you go through everything, which is really useful. So there's that. There are other options, but I am going to be BHS biased. So anyway, you can get hold of this if you go to, we're still kind of just coming out of lockdown, but if you go to anything that's more practical, like a conference or something, you'll be able to pick one of these up. If you see a BHS stand, so these are readily available. I think they're free, actually. They should be free. But if not, go on the website and you'll be able to find all these different careers on there. So the ones that are in here talks about working in the industry, top 5 reasons to work in the industry, choose your career pathway, skills to the industry. And then it goes through different careers, and you've got, just in case you can't see it, groom, professional rider, coaching, horse trainer, equestrian tourism, the racing industry, business management, farrier, saddlery, mounted police, nutritionist, veterinary, equine dental technician, breeding and stud, sales and marketing, journalism, PR and photography, and working for the BHS. Now, for all of these roles, the BHS recommends you have your stage 2 qualification. You don't necessarily need your stage 2 for some of these careers. For example, you don't necessarily need your stage 2 to become a vet. You don't need it to do sales and marketing. Don't need it to be a journalist. However, it's really useful if you want to become a groom, professional rider, a coach, horse trainer, those types of things. But it just gives you an idea of all the breadth that there is within the industry. So I recommend that if you're looking at wanting to get a bit of information on all these different types of careers. Just a little bit of background on me, in case you were wondering. So I started riding when I was 10 years old. I'm now approaching 32. So what's that? 22 years of riding. I got my first pony on loan when I was 11. So I started learning to ride. It wasn't even an approved. It wasn't a BHS riding school. It was one where you literally were plonked on and you go around fields. So that's how I learnt to ride for the first kind of 2 years. Just walk, trot, canter, which is why terrible on my diagonal still. Even though I know how to check my diagonal, I know what it should be like. You often see me riding on the wrong diagonal. It's terrible. And I've managed to pass riding exams as well. But it does slip my mind sometimes. So if you're wondering why, that's why. If you don't learn to ride properly in the first place, bad habits will creep in and they're really hard to get rid of. So I didn't learn to ride like the proper way. What I did, we would go in straight lines, walk, trot, canter, gallop and over cross-country fences. That was how I learned how to ride, which was good fun. But didn't know how to school, never done any of that. So I went to a BHS riding school across the road. Did that. I didn't do it as regularly because it was more expensive, so we didn't really have much money. So kind of after that we got, I had a pony on loan when I was 11. That was really good fun for a summer. And then I got my own pony when I was 14. And did pony club with him. Great fun. Again, loved the cross country, that was my favourite. Was alright with the show jumping, but he was difficult. Dressage, I just wasn't really interested, to be honest. I didn't really understand it, I didn't know why we were doing any of that. It was completely alien to me, even though I'd been to this other riding school, as I say, BHS one. I loved me jumping, so it was jumping I wanted to do. I wasn't keen on the flat very much. As lots of kids aren't. It's more fun jumping, isn't it? So that's what I like to do. Had my pony, kept him until he passed away when he was 20. How old was he? 20? 29? He passed away age 29. So we had him for 14 or 15 years, I think it was. In the meantime, during that time, I went to university. So completely different horses. And when I was at university, I played polo. So again, completely different, not riding properly in the sense of a completely different style of riding. Like, because it's kind of almost like a joystick with the reins. It's completely different. So anyway, but I did that. Left uni. I didn't think I'd have another horse again or do anything with horses for a long time. My pony was out on loan and then he retired, so I was like, okay. And then kind of certain circumstances all kind of happened, and I ended up with an ex-race horse called Spirit. Then the idea was to literally just have fun with her, do a bit of riding club, a bit of hacking about. I joined a local riding club and they let me join their dressage team. They let me have a go and I did horrendously, but I loved it. I think I got like 56% or something like that, or 59. It was below 60, it was in the 50s, but I had such a great time. I absolutely loved it. As a result, I joined their committee, went on did another team, dressage team. It went horrendously. It was even worse. I think it might have been like 52. It was really bad, really bad. Like, she was really spooky. Her head was in the air. She was off the bit, running around. It's on here somewhere. I nearly fell off if we went in the ring. She tried to run away. She did a massive spook, span round. I was there like on her neck. It was horrendous. And so I then got kicked off doing dressage teams. They said no more dressage teams for you. I was allowed to jump and that was it. But by then I was bitten by the dressage bug. I loved it. So I didn't do the committee anymore because it was a bit embarrassing because it was public as well when I was kicked off this. I was like, oh no. So anyway, I was like, oh, I need to learn to ride better. And so that's what I started doing. So I was just like, oh, I need to get on a team again. That's all it was at the time. I was just, I need to ride well enough so I can ride on a dressage team because I just loved it. I'd never done anything like that. When I was in Pony Club, I was offered to do Pony Club dressage team. Well, they said you should try out. And I was like, well, Mum and Dad were like, that's too expensive. We can't take you to training. So we never got to do it. Which is funny because I wasn't interested in the dressage anyway. I just wanted to be on a team. But anyway, so then I started to have some flat lessons, went to a few camps and things, and then I met an event rider, and she was lovely, and she said, oh, you know, I teach you, I like the horse, so she was great, and Spirit then got diagnosed with kissing spine and Hox famines, and she was like, well, come work for me. Oh no, I think I went on her website and she was like looking for a working pupil or something, and I was like, well, I work full time, but I'm happy to do some part-time stuff. She said, yeah, and I brought Spirit with me, and what it was I worked and I got like I paid DIY rate but got part livery, so that's why how I was paid, if that makes sense. It wasn't payroll, but I just got money off the livery and lessons and that. So anyway, so I had so I did my stage 1 when I was there. So I got some training when I was there. So did my stage 1, got to ride her horses, did a bit of fitting work on one of her hunt horses, and got to ride one of her event horses, getting him fit as well, and then got to have some lessons on some of the others. So that was really good. I was there for I can't remember, but part-time doing that, nearly a year, I think, something like that. Anyway, so I was there, and then I decided, oh, do you know what, I'm going to do this full time. At the time I was working in banking, and I was full time in banking, and then I'd leave and then I'd go and work at this other yard, work at the event yard for the evenings. That's what I would do. And so I did that, and I was there I did 6 evenings a week, and I was working 5 days a week at the office job. And I decided, oh, I want to do it full time. So I got a working pupil position on another event yard, higher level this time. So she was, my original person was a 2-star eventer, but she's now, so she was at intermediate level, she's now advanced, she's gone advanced now, really good. And then then my new employer was a 4-star eventer, so she'd been around Burley. It's now 5-star. This is the old system. I've not really kept up with the change with eventing because I moved away from it. But anyway, so that was really good. I got to hack out on all the different horses, up to, I didn't ride the 4-star horse, but I got to ride up to the 3-star, one of the 3-star horses out hacking. That was great fun. And the youngsters, take them on their first hacks on Salisbury Plain, which was a bit scary, but it was really good. They were really well behaved. So I did that only for a few months actually. I left there and I became a freelance groom then, and I did a bit work on studs, only like the young stock, not with stallions or anything. I did some work with, had some broodmares and they had some foals. That was lovely. So yeah, so did that. Also helped out in another event yard, and another event yard. So there was a few there. So that was really good. And then I was looking for some, I knew I was going to back to uni to do a master's. I wanted to do a master's in business management focusing on horses. So I had a place to do that part-time, couldn't afford to do it full-time. So I was looking for a job to work around that. And the riding school that I learnt at, not the first one, but the BHS one, was looking for a yard assistant / instructor. Now at this point I had my stage 2. So I did my stage 1 and then I did my stage 2 and my riding road safety, and I was then working towards my 3, and I was doing my coaching experience a little bit. I've done some lead reins. And then I got offered the job, and I got to start teaching, and that was fantastic. And I have been doing that now for the past nearly 3 years. I've been teaching, looking at my stage 4. The part of my stage 3 I've still got to do, and I'm looking at doing my stage 4. So that's where I am at the moment. I'm also a British Dressage trainee judge, looking at doing training for that. And I've competed BD up to novice level, and I've competed unaffiliated up to elementary level. So I thought I would just share what I found in the equine industry, obviously from my own perspective, my own opinion. So, you know, talk to various different people if you're interested in joining the equine industry, because people have different stories to tell. But I'll just share some of the things that I've learned, and hopefully they'll be useful to you. So keep an eye out for those. Thanks for listening.